welcome back to the BTN TV studio. My name's Andy Hoskins and I'm an editor of BTN Europe. I'm now delighted to be joined by Paul Deere, Regional VP of Supplier Services EMEA at Concur.
That's correct.
Got all that correct?
Well done. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining me here, Paul. We've got 10 minutes and we're going to talk about a couple of things, both quite big subjects. Firstly, the results of your 5th annual Global Business Travel Survey. And secondly, the the rollout of the new look, all singing, all dancing Concur
Evolution
booking
of
tour.
Concur Travel, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the your latest survey.
Sure.
Talk me through some of the key findings from that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we surveyed 3,850 travellers, 700 travel managers over 25 countries, and some very interesting stats came out of it. Stats that I was surprised at myself. For example, 53% of travellers have actually changed their hotel because they felt unsafe.
Okay.
So we're finding that flexibility is one of the key areas that the travellers are now looking for, especially post-COVID. So 99% of travellers think their travel policy is going to change. Again, to give them flexibility because it's about making them feel safe and secure in their surroundings. And so again, increasing flexibility, showing 70% are talking about booking outside of the recognised channels. Mm-hmm. If the travel policy is restrictive enough, that means they don't get what they're looking for. But I say with that 53%, just to expand on that slightly, 70% of our US travellers have actually changed their accommodation in the last 12 months once they've arrived, for whatever reason, and we've got detailed reasons behind that, because they haven't felt safe in their environment.
Yeah.
So we're seeing, I think, a post-COVID rebound of flexibility, security, and basically taking more control of their travel.
Yeah.
You know, with the obviously understanding that the policy itself is still there to control.
Yeah, so travellers maybe asserting themselves a little bit more and expressing what they want.
I think definitely. I mean, as I say, it's about how comfortable are you to travel for your business trip. In fact, we saw, I think it was 28% of the travellers actually turning down business trips on the basis they wouldn't feel safe or they didn't feel comfortable with what they've been asked to travel in. And obviously with the current economic climate, budgets, average fares going up quite considerably. Mm-hmm. Some travel policies have downgraded, and they've downgraded to a point where some travellers are not happy to travel.
Yeah.
And the research shows that very clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So you beat me to it. That was one thing that I picked out, that there seems to be quite a lot of concern about the economy, and that's leading to uncertainty. And that I think 30% of travellers are downgrading accommodation, 31%. For example, booking cheaper indirect flights. I mean, indirect flights will save money. That also sort of raises the sustainability argument and the well-being argument, because no one really wants to take an indirect flight. No. So,
I mean, I think there's definitely a dichotomy between sustainability, cost, and that argument will roll on and roll on and roll on. The position now that travellers put themselves in is, are they comfortable? And so if there's not a flexibility in their policy, as you say, if there's a downgrading of the level of accommodation, or, as you say, indirect flights, how does that hit them personally? Their sustainability goals, their CO2 emissions, their security, et cetera, et cetera. So we're seeing, I think, a change in the environment where actually travel policies will end up being traveller-led policies rather than a travel policy, because you've got to make sure the duty of care of your traveller is the uppermost.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things that's certainly come out of COVID that we're hearing quite a lot about. And you sort of touched on this just now as well. Another point I picked out for travel managers, nearly over a third said employees booking direct was the biggest threat they're facing currently. So this is the old leakage issue.
Yeah, and I am not going to touch an NDC today. I promise you I'm not.
Well, we've only got probably about 5 minutes now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that route. But equally, there is now product that is not in the recognised channels. There is fares that sit on airline.coms, hotel.coms that are not available in GDSs or NDC paths or whatever. So we are seeing bookings increasingly going outside. And as you know, we have a TripLink product where we capture that data and bring it back in for duty of care. So I understand the positioning of travel managers saying it's a risk, but to cover that risk, there are tools out in the marketplace. Let's say TripLink is only one of them, but it allows you to bring in that data. The key, though, is the fragmentation of content. my job is, as it says, supplier services. I look after suppliers globally, and my job is to get as much content as possible in front of those travellers. Now, equally, that may not be palatable which channel it comes through. The GDS is a great, is the preferred position, as in NDC GDS as well. But equally, there'll be content in other channels that we will need to bring in to ensure that less and less feel the need to go externally. But if they do go externally to airline sites, we can capture it. Yeah. So we're trying to be, it's more about becoming that platform environment of capturing data wherever it needs to be captured on behalf of the corporate traveller manager.
So sort of moving into the overhaul of Concur booking tool.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that, but presumably the sort of the new look, the new functionality. What is this, a complete re-platforming? I think it's been described as previously.
Yeah, it's a complete re-platforming on AWS public cloud. So therefore, we have a lot more flexibility and speed to market and what we can do with the product now. The product itself, UI UX is consumer grade, as you'd expect. As an example, in the airline world, we do single sector faring. So we now, doesn't matter which channel content comes through, you could have a GDS booking and an NDC booking together in the same channel. So yeah, consumer grade level. Obviously, sustainability is built throughout it. So everywhere you go, it's decision making based upon how green the plane might be, or again, in the car world, an electric car versus a petrol car, etc. Hotels, again, the green flags on there to say, is this a sustainable level grade hotel based upon your policy being the travel manager, or equally from we have a third party where we're bringing in information to make that decision point. So a complete replatforming, air, car, hotel, and rail, where for certainly for the listeners of this, our Sabre verticals will be going live in Q4 in 2023, and our 8 Amadeus verticals will be going live in Q1 2024. So within the next 12 months, all of our customers will have the ability to use the new products.
They're going to start seeing quite a big difference.
Absolutely,
then.
yes.
Okay, and car, am I right in thinking car is already out there? Is that live?
Car is already released on Amadeus, that's correct. Equally, our evolution of Concur Travel for Rail, we currently have Renfe going through that, but equally we're connecting to an aggregator to bring in a lot more rail in a lot quicker.
Okay, fantastic. A lot to discuss in a very short amount of time.
Indeed.
There. So thank you for joining me for 10 minutes here. It's been a pleasure, and I think we'll catch up again to have a slightly longer conversation again soon.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
That's it for this particular segment, and we'll be back again shortly. Thank you.